Am I the a-hole for picking a restaurant for my birthday dinner that did not meet the needs and requirements of my dad's wife and her son? My dad got married to Kathleen when I 22 was 15. Kathleen has 2 kids. A daughter I never met. I think she's in her late 20s or early 30s. And then she has a son, Benjamin, 18M. Benjamin is allergic to peanuts and shellfish. On top of that, him and Kathleen are very picky eaters. His diet when I lived there consisted of pizza, fries and burgers, and beef and cheese tacos. He didn't eat fruits or vegetables. He didn't eat any meat except for beef. He'd eat chocolate and ice cream and stuff though. And he was so bad at checking labels, and he had a few allergic reactions while we lived together. One time he had to be rushed to the hospital and spent a week in because he had such a bad reaction. Kathleen's super picky too. I can't remember all the stuff she wouldn't eat, but it included any kind of fish, any kind of potato, rice, pasta, bread, and stuff like that. This left us in a really weird position when my dad wanted to order takeout or take us out to eat. We had a couple of fast food places where Kathleen ordered salad and Benjamin ordered pizza and burgers usually. The food was never great, but could have been worse. I think the part that sucked was every time we ordered out for my birthday or went out for my birthday, it was one of the 2 places we had. Even a taco place was out unless they'd remove all veggies and extras except for the meat and cheese. And some places still put gross crap, to quote Benjamin, on them when they did seemingly comply. Anytime still they want to do a family meal out, they expect us all to go to their chosen fast food places that work for Benjamin and Kathleen, and I'm tired of dealing with them. They're insufferable about how others eat too, so I never go. A few weeks ago, I had a birthday dinner with my girlfriend and some family and friends. Dad wanted to come and he expected Kathleen and Benjamin to be invited too. I told him that was okay if they'd eat where I had chosen. I got an email from Kathleen and calls from Dad where I was told my restaurant of choice did not meet the needs and requirements of Benjamin and Kathleen, and would me and the rest of the guests travel out of state for a dinner for my birthday so we could go to one of Benjamin and Kathleen's choices. My answer was no, and I told Dad he could still come, but I was not changing where I have my birthday dinner. Kathleen sent another email asking why I was being so hostile like her daughter and I should care about my family's health and interests. Dad and Kathleen were more upset to learn some of Dad's side flew out to join us for dinner when they typically won't accept plans from them to eat out. So now I'm facing more of their anger for my choice of restaurant. Am I the a-hole? Wait a minute. Her own daughter is so fed up with the dietary nightmare that is her mother and brother that stepmom considers her hostile? No, not the a-hole. Accommodating for the peanut and shellfish allergy would be a reasonable ask. Demanding that you limit your choices to 2 mediocre restaurants on your birthday to accommodate the stepmother and stepbrother's dietary dysfunction is absurd. Leveling up that demand to you must not only give up your preferred choice to travel to another state in order to accommodate their dietary demands is ridiculously entitled. Just put them on mute and enjoy the culinary freedom you now enjoy. Opie replies, "There's more than that." Her daughter and Benjamin are half-siblings, and I think a lot of mess started there and went into favoritism as well as the weird food stuff. Not the a-hole so your dad's relatives avoid eating with him and Kathleen because of the boring food, and jumped at the opportunity to have a nice meal with you. The rule is simple: your birthday, you choose. Your dad can go and have chicken nuggets with his wife any day he feels like it, but does not get to dictate how you organize your birthday party. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to wake up my husband when my parents visited and kicking them out when they insisted? Sorry for the throwaway account. I have colleagues that follow my main and I like to keep my personal life as private as I can. With that said, I will keep details as low as possible as well. Husband and I have been married for 5 years now, and we are both 29 years old. The last 3 weeks, due to a complete screw-up in a department in the company my husband works for, it has been all hand on deck for my husband and his team to resolve the issues. My husband has been working 18-hour a day, and even some days not even coming home, working throughout the entire night and into the next day. I don't know much about the issues exactly, but what I do know is that if they do not resolve the issues, it will be a $50 million loss for the company. The issues are not the result of my husband or anyone in his team, but they are the ones that has to fix the issues. I can see the exhaustion in my husband's face when he comes in as 2 to 3 in the morning when I'm awake and leaves at 7 again. I don't know how he is doing it. and just keeps going, but I try my best to keep as much as possible of his plate at home until he could get the issues resolved. Before this, he has been nothing but supportive and helpful around the house. When he comes home, he eats, showers, and goes straight to bed. I have found him some nights literally sleeping at the table while he was busy eating when I went down to check on him because he wasn't in bed yet, and I got woken up or him passed out on the foot of the bed with the shower running and him still in his work clothes. 2 nights back, he got home at around midnight, which is late, but was too early from when he normally get back, and I thought something bad happened because he looked like a ghost, but through his exhaustion, he gave me this massive smile and said, "They did it and everything is done." He told me the boss gave them each a couple days off and he only needs to be back in the office next week Tuesday. He ate dinner, took a shower, and got into bed. I got up the next morning around 9 and made breakfast. I thought about waking up my husband, but didn't and let him sleep. Around 12, my parents visited me. I normally work from home, and they do visit from time to time, seeing as I'm 6 months pregnant as well. I greeted them, and we sat down and had coffee. Around 30 minutes into their visit, they asked where my husband was because they saw his truck in the driveway. I told them he was still sleeping. My mother gave me a look and said it's unacceptable for my husband to still be sleeping past 12 o'clock, especially with a pregnant wife, and I should wake him up. I told them no and to leave it, and then explained the full situations of what happened the last 3 weeks to them. They didn't budge and insisted I wake my husband up. Apparently, it's not right for him to sleep in with a pregnant wife. It went as far as my mother standing up and saying if I wouldn't do it, then she will go and wake him up. I stood up and blocked my mother from going up the stairs and told my parents if they find it so wrong for my husband to get proper sleep after 3 weeks of barely any sleep, they should leave our house because I will not, and I refuse to let them wake him up as well. I told them I will let my husband sleep until he wakes up himself. I will not disturb him, and I will not allow anyone else to disturb him. They asked if I am kicking them out, and I said yes. If they can't respect my request to leave my husband alone and let him sleep, they are no longer welcome. Their whole visit lasted around an hour. Around 3 p.m. I got bombarded with text from their family members berating me for kicking my parents out of our house, even my sister and brother berating me for doing it, telling me I'm the a-hole for kicking them out for just trying to help. Even after I explained the situation, some family members are still on my parents' side saying I overreacted by kicking them out, because they were only looking out for my safety seeing as I'm pregnant. Edit. Unfortunately, I have a family is somewhat close and loves to talk. Secrets don't stay secret in this family for long, especially with my aunts and cousins that can't keep anything to themselves. As soon as they know something, everyone else has to know it as well. Bit of extra information I see kept getting asked. This is my first child. She will also be the first grandchild and the first child born in the family the last 20 years. Not the a-hole, your parents are ridiculous. Don't let them come over for some time. Let the poor dude sleep. Trying to help with what? Your husband sleeping and you minding your own business working from home? I would be calling everyone on group call and giving them a piece of my mind. I don't tolerate disrespect like that. It's your home. They came in giving unsolicited opinions, and your relatives would be getting it too for sticking their beaks where they don't belong. You're pregnant, not terminally ill. Opie replies, that was my point as well. It's not like the pregnancy is keeping me from not being able to do anything. Everything is going great with the pregnancy except feeling like a ball. Other than that, I'm fine. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling a friend that a tattoo on her chest saying "Forever Brian's" is a deal breaker for most men? Even though Brian has since passed away. I've got a friend named Eula that is relatively new, as I've only known her for 4 years. She has a tattoo on her chest just below her collarbone that says "Forever Brian's." She got it when she was quite young, early 20s, about 15 years ago, when she was engaged to her first love, who unfortunately passed away due to cancer, is my understanding. I don't know the history beyond that. It happened quite quickly and she got the tattoo after he passed away. I've been watching her date for about 4 years now, and the tattoo has consistently been a sticking point for the 3 to 4 or so guys that I've seen her with. Each one has said it differently, but they've all said that they'd like her to get it removed or that it makes them uncomfortable enough to leave the relationship when it got serious. Last night, Eula and my wife were having a girls' night together, and I was downstairs enjoying some Baldur's Gate 3 when they both came down and asked for a guy's opinion and harassed me until I put the controller down. I warned them repeatedly that if they asked me for a guy's opinion, that I would provide one, but it might be hurtful. So I asked the ladies if they remembered the movie Titanic. They both agreed. I asked them if they remembered what the core theme of the movie was. They both answered that it was a love story between Jack and Rose. So I told Eula, do you know who it wasn't a love story for? Rose's husband. Rose's husband married her, had children with her, stayed married to her for roughly 60 years and grew old together, overcame adversity and successfully had a long life together. But Rose didn't think of her husband or those memories together when she died 60 years later. She thought of Jack. All of that living that Rose and her husband did together meant little because in the end, when she passed over, she went to her first love, Jack. I looked at Eula and said that tattoo is written confirmation that they're not your forever person. Which is fine when you're casually dating, but what you're indirectly asking for when things start to get serious is if they're willing to sign up to be your Rose's husband. I agreed that Brian had passed away over a decade ago. I agreed it wasn't fair. I agreed that they were stupidly competing with a dead person. I agreed that removing it won't change how she felt about Brian. My bottom line was this was a one guy's opinion on the matter, which obviously all her previous boyfriends to some degree agreed with me on, as each one had raised it as a serious issue to them. I wasn't trying to start a huge argument, but that's basically what happened, so I tried a different approach and told her, look, not trying to start crap, but everyone wants to find their forever person. What you're doing is basically telling these guys you've already found yours, and that's not changing, so they keep it casual for as long as they can. When you try to get serious, they leave to protect themselves because no one wants to be a placeholder, and it doesn't help how aggressively you defend it. Shortly after she passed out on the couch, much to my relief. In hindsight, this should have been a conversation to have while sober. So, was I too harsh? Was I an a-hole? Even the next morning, she was slowly crying and committing to removing it, which I told her to talk it out with more than just friends and maybe seek out a professional opinion before removing it, but I sure felt like a royal a-hole. It really felt like there was no winning here. Just a lot of hurt feelings and distant tragedy. Not the a-hole. Most guys are figuring that it's impossible to compete with the idealized and romanticized version of Brian that's in her memory. It's like the old joke. A man walks out to the street and catches a taxi just as it's going by. As he gets into the taxi, the cabbie says, impeccable timing. You're just like Frank. Passenger, who? Cabbie, Frank Feldman. He's a guy who did everything right, all the time. Like my coming along when you needed a cab, things happen like that to Frank Feldman every single time. Passenger, there are always a few clouds over everybody. Cabbie, not Frank Feldman. He was a terrific athlete. He could have won the Grand Slam at tennis. He could golf with the pros. He sang like an opera baritone and danced like a Broadway star, and you should have heard him play the piano. He was an amazing guy. Passenger, sounds like he was really something special. Cabbie, there's more. He had a memory like a computer. He remembered everybody's birthday. He knew all about wine, which foods to order, and which fork to eat them with. He could fix anything. Not like me. I change a fuse and the whole street blacks out. But Frank Feldman could do everything right. Passenger, wow, what a guy. Cabbie, he always knew the quickest way to go in traffic and avoid traffic jams. Not like me. I always seem to get stuck in them. But Frank, he never made a mistake, and he really knew how to treat a woman and make her feel good. He would never answer her back even if she was in the wrong. And his clothing was always immaculate, shoes highly polished too. He was the perfect man. He never made a mistake. No one could ever measure up to Frank Feldman. Passenger, how did you meet him? Cabbie, well, I never actually met Frank. He died, and I married his wife. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to cut off my hair because my 7-year-old niece has cancer? The title probably already tells him the a-hole, which I probably am, but I just need other people's opinions on my situation. I am 17 male. Unfortunately, about 6 weeks ago, my niece got diagnosed with all. Considering she has pretty much had health issues since birth, words cannot describe how bad I feel for my aunt, uncle, cousin, and especially my niece. It basically broke their family apart. And even though I had never been that close with them, I really tried to emotionally support them, especially my cousin, to really let him know that I'm there for him and that he can tell me whatever is going on inside his mind at any time, anywhere, which he has already done a couple times. Now, I'll get to the point. Last week, due to the results of chemo, my niece's beautiful long blonde hair started to fall off, which they immediately shaved down. I'm not native English, sorry if I make this sound weird, but the next day, a group chat including the entire family was created where my aunt announced it would be wholesome if everyone shaved their hair off as well to show their support, including a picture where the four of them all smile without any hair on their head. As soon as I saw this, I thought it was wholesome, but doubted anyone else would do it. 2 hours later, I arrive home, so see both my sister and mother bald, following by my other cousin and grandma. The next day when I woke up and entered the living room, my mom asked, "When are you ready to do it?" while holding an electric hair trimmer. I originally thought it was something to decide on your own, but since everyone else is doing it, I'm kind of being pushed into a corner. I really don't want to sound egoistic, but I'm a guy with long hair, which over the years has basically become my personality. It's pretty much the only thing about myself I love, and I really don't think I want to shave it off. Yes, if I shave it, my niece could be shocked that her long-haired cousin finally shaved his hair off in order to support you. But if I have to keep things real, I might sound extremely rude here. But my aunt made a video showing my niece's reaction to my mom and sister shaving their heads off, and she did not even seem to slightly care about it. Video went like this, and trying to show the picture to my niece, who is watching a cartoon. She has to tap her maybe 4 times to get her attention, and when she looks, she just stares at it, says wow, and continues watching her cartoon. I noticed after this video, my mom started to kind of become pushy towards me shaving my hair to show my support. Again, this might sound rude, but in other words, she wants to drag me down into the pit with her. This morning, I got a text from my aunt, where she said it would be really nice if I shaved my head as well, in order to show my emotional support towards my niece. If we have to keep things real, shaving my head will basically change nothing in the entire situation. But I can't just say no, can I? I seriously really don't know what to do. If my aunt would have shown a little more appreciation to my sister and mom, I would have probably considered it. But considering she did not even reply to the pictures and just immediately showed them to my niece, as if you have to do it, I don't think I'm willing to do it. Don't get me wrong, I really love my niece, and even though I'm not that close with her, I always really cared about her and made sure she always felt comfortable with me, and I have a lot of fun memories with her when she was a little girl. It's just that when they moved a couple towns away, we started seeing them less and less. But really, what do I do? I'm almost getting threatened to cut off my hair by 3 people. And if I do decide to do it, what if no appreciation is shown? Yes, I would have done it to show support from my side, but if it's nowhere to be appreciated, then what's the point? Not the a-hole, it isn't exactly support if it's done under coercion. And nobody should force anybody to change their body if they are unwilling for someone else. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel or posts.